Morning, YouTube. So progress on the truck again. I lifted the body up so I could change my pan gasket on this 7.3. I had to get it up that, jack that motor up. As you can see in there, I had to, those blocks are 2.5 inches. One on each side. Had to wedge them in there to hold that up so I can get that pan out of there. Fix the leak. It leaked all the way around. It was in bad shape. But the front body, I had to lift that much, which this is all being fixed with the body lift and new bolts. I also chose to do the oil cooler, which was leaking on this side. It's actually a lot easier with that motor up. So I recommend, if you're going to change your pan gasket, change those oil cooler gaskets, because you can get to it right here with your long extension. You can work in there. You can clean it. It's the ideal way to do it, actually, but it needed to be done, so I'm getting ready to put that back on. But the pan, it was pretty much clean inside. Underneath here, I had put 3 inches there to hold the cab up for me, and then let's see here if I can get under here. There you go. I made it. I cleaned it all up. Inside the pan was pretty much spotless. There was nothing in it. There very little sludge, if any. I mean, this motor's really clean, so it was taken care of. I cleaned it. I painted it, of course, to match my top end. I scrubbed all this with a toothbrush and degreaser. Put a new water pump on it. The water pump, yeah, I'll show you that in a minute. The water pump was, I'm glad I chose to change it, because it was, it's got all new glow plugs in it, all ZD9s. I taped everything off to paint it. I mainly did that because the paint on the motor was just chipping off everywhere, and I didn't want it to rust. But I don't know, I don't think it looks too bad. I like the primer look. It looks all right. Inside the heads, though, I mean, it's clean in there. I mean, I didn't do anything in there. That's the way it was when I took them off. I mean, they're both like that. They're super clean. I mean, no sludge. I had the pan off. I checked this one as well here. It's really clean in there. There's a little bit of rust right there. I think that's from when it was sitting. I'm gonna clean that up before I reseal the covers, and there's a little bit of rust in there right there from it just sitting for a few days. But I mean, I looked at it from underneath. When I pulled the pan, I checked all the cylinders, and you can still see hone marks in the cylinders. I mean, you can still see them in there. So the motor is, well, I'm hoping, in great shape. I took the glow plug controller off. I have a new, I think it's a CVT valve, or the crankcase pressure valve right there. I got a new one. I took that glow plug crap off there. I rebuilt this whole harness. It's all new. and I relocated it over here because it's going to be manual. It's a manual setup now, push button. It's going to be fused. I got another fuse panel here to put in for the accessories. New thermostat, a new pump, which I have to tighten all this stuff down yet. This ain't. Other than that, the coolant's nice and green inside, so for the most part, I'm happy with it. The pump, I'm waiting for my pump. It should be here today. I mean, I've been waiting for it for like 7 days, so I don't know what the deal is, but here's the old water pump. So here's a funny thing. Look at the inside of it, minus the dirt and the ants, but that's the bottom. So I think somebody tried to put water in it and fill it up or whatever, and then the water sat inside the pump from the radiator. I'm not sure, but it destroyed the whole thing. It rusted the whole thing out. So I'm glad I changed it because I don't want any of that. I flushed everything out of the block. I looked in there's 2 holes right here, one on each side. So I got in there and looked in there with a flashlight around the cylinders, and there's no rust in there, no signs of pitting or anything. So it's actually awesomely clean in there, which is a relief. There's the cooler, which I'm getting ready to paint and reseal. There's the new valve right there. Here's the kit, the gasket kit for this oil cooler. The first oil cooler kit I bought, they gave me a 7.3 Power Stroke. So that obviously didn't fit. My new oil filter. That's the Motocraft one right there. I chose to go with that. I was going to put a Fram, I think it's a 3766 on it, but I chose to do the Motocraft. I mean, so it's coming along. I haven't did nothing with the fuel system yet, other than I'm getting ready to put this cooler back on and lower all this back down, put my body lift in it and redo my mounts. So that part's all done. But that's the update. Thanks, guys.